can make it if you believe. You've got the potentials living in you. You've got the power to succeed. You've got the power to achieve. You've got the power if you believe. Success power.
Welcome to Success Power. Remember, we have been discussing the topic, break your limits. And I have a feeling that you and I are about to enter into a season of new opportunities. Now, there is no one who does not have opportunities. You only have people who either do not recognize their opportunities or people who are not prepared for their opportunities. So what we want to do is to develop the capacity, to take advantage of our opportunities. Now, a friend of mine made a bold move some years ago, and at the time he made that bold move, and it was about changing locations for his organization, we had not met, we had not known. I had heard about him. When I heard about that move that they made, which shot up their overhead costs astronomically. I mean, it became public knowledge that their expenses had literally exploded. I must confess, was one of his critics when I heard what they did. Of course, being knowledgeable of the fact that he comes from a wealthy family, I thought that he was just out to waste money, that it was because he had money. That's why he was spending money like that. So the first time we met, we agreed to have lunch together. At that lunch, I told him, I have a question for you. I've always told myself that the day I would meet you, that was the first question I would ask you. Why did you change locations in such a way as to increase your expenses like that? I mean, if you were going to spend that kind of money on rent, why didn't you try to acquire somewhere? Then he said to me, look, it's not like you think. At the point in time that we made that move, our income was so low, I did not plan to pay anything for that new location. I had thought that I would be able to exploit my connections to get the use of the place for free. He said, but the day we had the meeting with the board, they expressed their willingness to give the place to us, but one of the board members said, gentlemen, I think the problem you're going to have will be being able to afford this hall. Now my friend said that one of his associates who went with him just spoke out and said, ladies and gentlemen, the issue of payment will never be a problem for us. We will pay this amount of money. My friend said that he used his shoe to press on the shoe of his associate who said that. Because he was wondering what the guy was talking about because he knew they didn't have the money. Anyway, they left that location and went to have a small meeting. And at that meeting, some people made pledges on how much they were going to contribute to the rent, and the money was complete for 1 year. Remarkable. It was not because they had the money that they made the move. It was because they made the move that the money showed up. Many of us need to learn that. When you see people who are achieving great things or succeeding at a higher level, it's not because they had more resources, it's because they had more faith. That's the truth. Faith. You can have a lot of money. If you don't have faith, there are many things you still won't attempt on there. But when you have a lot of faith, that faith turns you into a magnet that attracts everything else that you need. But then the story didn't end there. My friend said that after they moved into the new location, then he realized everything that they had before had become insufficient. The equipment were no longer sufficient. The caliber of staff that they had was no longer sufficient. The number of staff that they had was no longer sufficient. They had to hire more people. They had to buy more equipment. Their monthly expenses also exploded. Remember, there was also the rent, and people were only redeeming their pledges in installments. My friend said, at some point, he was under tremendous pressure because of the bills, and the money was not there. It was coming in trickles. He said he was so worried that at the point he thought to himself, look, I think I'm going to die. You know, he said he would wake up in the middle of the night. This young girl is going to become a widow. He said he thought he was going to die. The pressure was just too much. But then he said, after 1 year, they broke even. Things became even. The income now could meet the expenses. And then afterwards, their income just exploded. And it became very convenient. But I'm telling you, they had moved into a new level of excellence, you know, and now everything literally changed for them. So the day he told that story, you know, I did what you call repenting. You know, I realized I was the one who was wrong, not him. It was not because they had a lot of money that they made the move. It was because they made the move. That's why they got to have a lot of money. So, when we were also moving into a new location, then I went to meet my friend and said, you know what, I like the beauty, the excellence of your location. I want to be able to reproduce the same thing. Can you come have a look? Can you come have a look at our new place and advise me on how to